King Vorthak sat on his massive crystal throne, looking at the holographic reports floating in front of him. The throne room was enormous, with walls made of pure silver that reflected the light from 1,000 glowing crystals. His advisors stood in perfect lines on both sides, all wearing the dark purple uniforms of the Zilonian Empire. "Tell me about this planet again," King Vorthak said, his voice deep and commanding. His skin was pale blue, and his eyes glowed with a cold white light. Like all Zironians, he was tall and thin, with long fingers that ended in sharp points. General Kozak stepped forward and bowed low. "The planet is called Earth, Your Majesty. It is the third planet from a yellow star. The creatures there call themselves humans. They are small, weak, and divided into many fighting groups." The king leaned forward on his throne. "What weapons do they have?" "Very basic ones, Your Majesty. They still use chemical explosives and metal projectiles. Their most advanced ships cannot even leave their own atmosphere properly. They have been fighting each other for thousands of years and cannot work together." King Vorthak laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "And what resources does this planet have?" "Enormous amounts of fresh water, Your Majesty. Also rare minerals that we need for our fleet expansion. The planet is perfect for our needs, and the humans will not be able to stop us." Another advisor, Minister Izel, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, our scouts report that humans surrender very quickly when faced with superior force. They are emotional creatures who panic easily. Most of their history involves running away from strong enemies." The king stood up from his throne, his tall figure casting a long shadow across the room. "Then, this will be perfect training for my son. Zirion needs experience commanding a fleet, and these humans will provide an easy first victory." Prince Zirion entered the throne room at that moment. He was younger than his father, but just as tall, with the same glowing white eyes. His uniform was decorated with silver symbols, showing his royal rank. "You called for me, father?" Prince Zirion asked, bowing respectfully. "Yes, my son. I have your first independent command ready. You will take 50 of our finest warships and conquer a primitive planet called Earth. It will be simple work, perfect for learning how to lead a fleet." Prince Zirion's eyes brightened with excitement. "Thank you, father. How long do you expect this conquest to take?" General Kozak answered before the king could speak. "No more than a few days, Prince. These humans have never seen real military power. They will surrender immediately when they see our fleet." King Vorthak nodded in agreement. "Send them the standard conquest message. Give them 72 hours to surrender completely. When they give up, take control of their planet and begin resource extraction." "What if they try to fight?" Prince Zirion asked. The entire throne room burst into laughter. Minister Izel wiped tears from his eyes. "Fight? Your Highness. These creatures fight with metal bullets and chemical bombs. Our shields can stop 1,000 of their strongest weapons without taking any damage. Besides," General Kozak added, "they cannot work together. While we have one unified command, they have hundreds of separate governments that hate each other. They will probably start fighting among themselves when they see our fleet approaching." King Vorthak placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "This will be excellent practice for you, Zirion. Learn how to give proper surrender terms, how to organize a conquered planet, and how to manage your fleet officers. When you return successful, I will give you a larger fleet and a more challenging target." Meanwhile, billions of miles away, Commander Park Min-jun sat in the Global Defense Coalition headquarters, deep underground beneath Seoul. The room was filled with screens showing satellite feeds, communication channels, and defense system status reports. Officers from dozens of countries worked together at their stations, all wearing the blue uniforms of the coalition. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission on all frequencies," reported Lieutenant Kim So-ra, her fingers flying across her control panel. "It's coming from outside our solar system." Commander Park straightened in his chair. Put it on the main screen. The massive display showed an alien face with pale blue skin and glowing white eyes. When it spoke, translation software converted its words into dozens of human languages simultaneously. "Primitive creatures of Earth," the alien voice said coldly. "I am Prince Zerion of the Zilonian Empire. By order of King Vorthak, your planet is now claimed as property of our empire. You have 72 hours to surrender completely. Lay down all weapons, dismiss all military forces, and prepare for occupation. Any resistance will result in the complete destruction of your cities." The transmission continued. "Do not attempt to fight us. We have conquered 200 worlds. Our technology is far beyond your understanding. Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick and painless. Resist, and we will make your entire species suffer before we destroy you." The message ended, leaving the command center in complete silence. Colonel Jung Hai-wan, the coalition's second-in-command, spoke first. "Sir, all world governments are requesting immediate emergency conferences. Panic reports are coming in from every major city." Commander Park stood up slowly, his face completely calm. "Send a reply on the same frequency they used." "What should the message say?" "Sir?" Lieutenant Kim asked. Park looked around at all the officers in the room, seeing determination in their eyes instead of fear. These people had trained for this day for 20 years, ever since the coalition formed after detecting the first alien signals. "Keep it simple," Commander Park said with a slight smile. "Tell Prince Zerion, thank you for the warning. We respectfully decline your offer. Earth will remain under human control." Lieutenant Kim stared at him. "Sir, are you sure? They claim to have conquered 200 worlds. Then they're about to learn what makes humans different from those other 200 worlds." Park replied calmly. "Send the message. Then activate Protocol 7. It's time to show these aliens what happens when they threaten Earth." As the message was sent out into space, alarms began sounding throughout the hidden facility. Around the world, similar alarms echoed in secret bases that most humans didn't even know existed. The war for Earth was about to begin. Prince Zerion stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Void Crusher, watching as his 50 warships emerged from hyperspace above Earth's moon. Each ship was over a kilometer long, with smooth black hulls that reflected the light from distant stars. Weapon ports lined their sides like the eyes of giant predators. "Beautiful formation, Your Highness," said Captain Velk, the prince's senior officer. Prince Zerion nodded. But something felt wrong. Where are the evacuation ships? When we conquered Beltara, their entire fleet tried to escape as soon as they saw us arrive. "Perhaps they are too primitive to have escape ships," Captain Velk suggested. "Our scouts reported their technology is very limited." The prince frowned as he studied the blue and white planet below. "No distress signals? No surrender transmissions? They should be begging for mercy by now." Lieutenant Commander Zex turned from his station. "Your Highness, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. There are hidden installations under the oceans and mountains. Also, several small objects in orbit that weren't there in our scout reports. Probably just communication satellites," Captain Velk said dismissively. "These primitives love their entertainment broadcasts." On Earth, Dr. Sarah Kim worked frantically in her laboratory beneath the Cascade Mountains. Banks of computers analyzed every piece of data they could gather from the alien fleet. Her team of scientists came from 12 different countries, but they all shared the same desperate purpose. "The energy signatures are incredible," reported Dr. Petrov from Russia. "Each of those ships carries more firepower than our entire nuclear arsenal." Rush. Dr. Kim studied the readings carefully. "But look at this pattern. Every ship has the same shield frequency. They're using standardized technology across their entire fleet." "That could be useful," said Dr. Chen from China. "If we can find a weakness in one ship, it might work on all of them." Dr. Kim pulled up historical files on her screen. "I've been studying their conquest pattern. They've taken over 200 worlds in the past 1,000 years. But look at this data carefully. The other scientists gathered around her workstation. Dr. Kim highlighted key information as she spoke. Every single conquest followed the same pattern. They arrive, make threats. The local population surrenders immediately. Game over. Average conquest time: 18 hours. Longest resistance ever recorded: 4 days. Dr. Yamamoto from Japan leaned closer to the screen. What happened in that 4-day case? The planet had a military dictatorship that refused to surrender. But even they gave up once the aliens started bombing their capital cities. The key point is this: the Zalonian Empire has never fought a prolonged war. They win through fear and overwhelming first strikes. Dr. Chen's eyes widened with understanding. You mean they've never actually had to fight a determined enemy? Exactly, Dr. Kim said with a grim smile. They're used to enemies who run or surrender quickly. They have no experience with opponents who keep fighting no matter what. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Meanwhile, Commander Park stood in the Coalition's main command center, watching status reports pour in from around the globe. Every hidden base was reporting ready status. Every secret weapon system was armed and waiting. Sir, we're receiving another transmission from the alien fleet, reported Major Lee Dong-wook from his communications station. Put it through, Commander Park ordered. Prince Zerion's face appeared on the main screen again, but this time he looked annoyed instead of confident. Humans of Earth, your time limit has expired. We have received no surrender transmission. Perhaps you did not understand our message clearly. We are the Zalonian Empire. We have destroyed countless worlds. Surrender now, or face complete annihilation. Commander Park stepped forward so the aliens could see him clearly. Prince Zerion. This is Commander Park Min-jun of the Earth Global Defense Coalition. We received your message perfectly. Our answer remains the same. No. The alien prince's glowing eyes widened in shock. You refuse to surrender? Do you not understand what we are capable of? We understand exactly what you're capable of, Park replied calmly. We also understand what we're capable of. You're welcome to test us. But I think you'll find Earth is different from your previous conquests. Prince Zerion's face flushed with anger. Then you have chosen death. We will demonstrate our power so you understand your mistake. The transmission ended. On the alien flagship, Prince Zerion turned to his officers. Target one of their military installations, something visible from space. Show them what happens to those who defy the Empire. Captain Velk checked his targeting systems. There's a large military base in what they call Nevada, Your Highness. It appears to be abandoned. Perfect. Destroy it completely. Make sure the humans see the explosion from their cities. The Void Crusher's main cannon charged with deadly energy. A beam of pure plasma lanced down from space, striking the Nevada base and vaporizing it completely. The explosion could be seen for hundreds of miles. Prince Zerion smiled with satisfaction. Now send another surrender demand. They will beg for mercy. Not. But Lieutenant Commander Zex looked confused at his communication station. Your Highness, we're receiving thousands of transmissions from Earth. Surrender offers? The prince asked hopefully. Zex's face went pale. No, Your Highness. They're singing. Singing? Prince Zerion stared at him in disbelief. Battle songs, sir. Defiant messages. And they're sending us coordinates. Coordinates for what? More targets, Your Highness. They're challenging us to attack specific locations. Prince Zerion felt something he had never experienced before: confusion. Every other species had begged for mercy after seeing a demonstration of Zalonian power. These humans were responding to destruction With defiance, Captain Velk studied the incoming transmissions. Your Highness, these humans appear to be excited about fighting us. On Earth, Commander Park smiled as reports came in from around the world. The alien attack on the Nevada base had been expected. It was an old facility that had been evacuated weeks ago, specifically to serve as bait. Sir, recruitment centers are reporting massive increases in volunteers, reported Colonel Young. The alien attack didn't scare people. It made them angry. Good, Park said quietly. Let them come. It's time these aliens learned the difference between fear and fury. Send orders to all units. Initiate Phase 2. In hidden bases around the world, submarine hatches opened in ocean depths. Mountainsides slid apart to reveal launch pads. Underground factories that had been secretly producing weapons for decades came online. Earth was about to show the Zilonian Empire what happened when you attacked a planet full of humans who refused to give up. Prince Zirion stared at his screens in growing unease. Something was very wrong with these humans. They should be terrified, not singing battle songs. For the first time in his life, the prince began to worry that this conquest might not be as easy as his father had promised. Captain Lee Dong-wook gripped the controls of his submarine spacecraft as it rose silently from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. The vessel looked like a normal submarine from the outside, but hidden modifications allowed it to operate underwater, underground, or in the vacuum of space. All stealth systems active, reported his navigator, Lieutenant Park So-young. We're invisible to their sensors. Around them, dozens of similar vessels emerged from hidden bases across Earth's oceans. The Zilonian fleet orbited high above, their massive ships looking down at the planet like sleeping giants. Remember the plan. Captain Lee spoke into his communicator to all human ships. We're not trying to match their firepower. We're faster, smaller, and we know this solar system better than they do. Hit fast, hit hard, then disappear. In the alien fleet, Prince Zerion was growing more frustrated by the hour. Where are their ships? Surely they have some kind of space vessels? Captain Velk studied his sensor displays. Nothing on long-range sensors, Your Highness. Perhaps they truly are limited to their planet's surface. Then why aren't they surrendering? The prince demanded. We've shown them our power. Any rational species would realize resistance is hopeless. Lieutenant Commander Zex looked up from his station, confusion clear on his blue face. Your Highness, we keep receiving more transmissions from Earth. They're sharing military music, poetry about fighting, and tactical suggestions. Tactical suggestions? They're telling us where to find their hidden bases, sir. But when we investigate the coordinates, we find empty facilities or obvious traps. Prince Zirion slammed his fist on his command console. They're mocking us. Prepare for orbital bombardment. We'll destroy their major cities until they beg for mercy. But before the order could be carried out, alarms began screaming throughout the Zilonian fleet. Multiple contacts, shouted the sensor officer. Small craft approaching from the asteroid belt. On his screen, Prince Zerion saw dozens of tiny ships streaking toward his fleet at incredible speed. They moved like silver bullets, weaving between asteroids and using the debris field as cover. Impossible, Captain Velk whispered. How did they get ships out there without us seeing them? Captain Lee's voice crackled over the human communication network. All units, execute Pattern Delta. Use the asteroids for cover and target their engine sections. We need to disable, not destroy. Dr. Sarah Kim's voice came through from Earth. Confirmed. The Zilonian shields are calibrated for energy weapons. Your kinetic projectiles should punch right through their defenses. The first human ship, piloted by Commander Choi Ji-hoon, fired a spread of railgun projectiles at the nearest alien cruiser. The metal slugs, accelerated to incredible velocities, tore through the Zilonian shields like they weren't even there. Direct hits on Alien Vessel 7, reported Lieutenant Kim So-ra. "Their shields are collapsing." Prince Zirion watched in shock as human weapons easily penetrated defenses that had never failed before. "How is this possible? Our shields can stop the most powerful energy beams." "Your Highness," his science officer called out frantically, "these humans aren't using energy weapons at all. They're firing solid projectiles at extreme velocities. Our shields were never designed to stop kinetic impacts of this magnitude." The human ships darted between the massive alien vessels like angry hornets attacking elephants. They were too small and fast for the Zilonians to target effectively, but their weapons were devastatingly accurate. Captain Park So-young's ship dove directly toward the alien flagship, firing guided missiles as it approached. The Void Crusher's defensive guns tried to track her, but she was moving too erratically. "This is impossible," Prince Zarian shouted. "They're just primitives with chemical rockets." But Captain Velk was studying the tactical display with growing horror. "Your Highness, these aren't chemical rockets. Look at their propulsion signatures. They're using some kind of ion drive system we've never seen before." Engineer Yuki Tanaka, working from a hidden base on Mars, coordinated the attacks through quantum communication links. "All ships, switch to Formation Echo. Drive them toward the moon's shadow where our heavy batteries are waiting." The alien fleet found itself being herded by the tiny human ships. Every time they tried to maneuver away, more human vessels appeared from impossible angles, rising from ocean depths, emerging from underground launch sites, even dropping out of the moon's shadow where they had been hiding. "Where are they all coming from?" Captain Velk demanded. On Earth, Commander Park watched the battle unfold with grim satisfaction. "The aliens expected us to be planet-bound primitives. They never imagined we've been secretly colonizing our own solar system for decades." Dr. Kim added her analysis. "Their tactical database shows they always fight centralized fleets in open space. They have no experience with distributed guerrilla warfare or multi-environment combat." The turning point came when Captain Lee's submarine ship performed a maneuver that should have been impossible. It dove into Earth's atmosphere at high speed, used the planet's gravity to slingshot around to the far side, then emerged at an angle that let it attack the Zilonian fleet from below. "By the void," whispered Lieutenant Commander Zex. "They're using planetary gravity as a weapon." Prince Zirion watched helplessly as his carefully organized fleet formation was torn apart by human tactics that made no sense, according to traditional space combat doctrine. The humans didn't fight like any enemy the Empire had ever faced. "Your Highness," called the damage control officer, "we've lost 3 destroyers and 5 cruisers. The humans are capturing our crew members instead of killing them." "Capturing them?" The prince was bewildered. "What do they want with prisoners?" Dr. Kim's voice came over the captured alien communication channels. "Attention, Zilonian fleet. Your wounded are receiving medical attention. Your prisoners are being treated according to galactic humanitarian standards that apparently don't exist in your empire." This only confused the aliens more. In their experience, conquered enemies were usually enslaved or eliminated, not given medical care. Captain Choi's engineering team worked frantically as they boarded a disabled Zilonian cruiser. "Amazing technology," he reported to command. "But it's all standardized across their fleet. If we can hack one ship's systems, we can hack them all." The battle continued for 6 hours before Prince Zarion finally called for a tactical withdrawal. His remaining ships retreated to a higher orbit, their formations broken and their confidence shattered. "Status report," the prince demanded, his voice hollow with shock. Captain Velk consulted his damage reports with shaking hands. 15 ships destroyed, 8 captured, 12 more heavily damaged. Human casualties appear to be minimal. How many humans did we kill? Based on wreckage analysis, perhaps a few dozen, Your Highness. Oh. Prince Zarion stared out at the small blue planet below, no longer seeing a primitive world ripe for conquest. Instead, he saw something that terrified him more than any weapon. A species that fought with intelligence, coordination, and a complete refusal to give up. For the first time in Zilonian history, a conquest fleet had not only failed to achieve victory in the first battle, but had actually been defeated by the species they came to conquer. In the Coalition Command Center, Commander Park allowed himself a small smile. Phase 3 is ready when you are, Prince Zerion. But I don't think you're going to like it any more than Phase 2. Prince Zerion had not slept in 3 days. His once pristine uniform was wrinkled and stained, and his glowing eyes had dimmed with exhaustion and fear. The human attacks never stopped. Just when his fleet thought they had found a safe position, more human ships would appear from impossible directions. Your Highness, Captain Velk said quietly, we've lost another cruiser. The humans somehow planted explosives on its hull during the night cycle. That's impossible, the prince whispered. Lieutenant Commander Zex looked up from his station, his face pale with terror. Your Highness, I think they're using their stealth submarines in space. They approach from below our sensor range, attach to our hulls like parasites, then plant their devices. The aliens had never encountered anything like human ingenuity. Every day, the humans developed new tactics that the Zilonian military database had no answers for. Cargo ships became missile platforms. Mining equipment turned into weapons. Even civilian satellites had been weaponized. On the captured Zilonian cruiser Vengeance, Dr. Sarah Kim worked with an international team of engineers and computer specialists. The ship floated in Earth's orbital shipyard, surrounded by human vessels like a giant surrounded by children. The translation matrix is incredible, reported Dr. Petrov, studying the alien computer systems. Their entire fleet uses the same command protocols. Dr. Chen looked up from a complex alien control panel. This is better than we hoped. If we can crack their command codes, we can potentially take control of their entire fleet network. Computer specialist Alex Rivera from Mexico had been working non-stop for 18 hours. I've found something amazing. These aliens have never developed cybersecurity protocols. They've never needed them because they've never fought anyone with advanced computer technology. Dr. Kim smiled grimly. They conquered primitive worlds that couldn't hack their systems. They have no defenses against digital warfare. Meanwhile, Captain Park So-Young led a boarding mission on another disabled Zilonian ship. Her team moved through the alien corridors with practiced efficiency, but they weren't there to destroy. They were there to capture and learn. The Zilonian crew members they encountered were completely demoralized. These weren't the proud, confident warriors who had arrived to conquer Earth. They were frightened beings who had discovered that their superior technology meant nothing against human determination and creativity. Please, begged a young Zilonian officer, as Captain Park's team reached the bridge. We surrender. Just don't hurt us. Captain Park lowered her weapon and spoke through her universal translator. We're not here to hurt you. We need access to your communication systems. The alien officer stared at her in confusion. You're not going to execute us? Execute you? Why would we do that? Captain Park looked genuinely puzzled. You're prisoners of war. The Geneva Convention protects your rights. Geneva Convention? The Zilonian had never heard these words before. Rules for treating prisoners humanely, Captain Park explained patiently. Your wounded receive medical care. Your crew gets food and shelter. No torture, no executions. This concept was completely foreign to the Zilonian Empire. In their culture, defeated enemies were either enslaved or killed. The idea of treating captured foes with kindness was literally incomprehensible. Back on the flagship, Prince Zerion received reports that made his situation even worse. Your Highness, reported his communications officer, the humans have broken our encryption. They're listening to all our fleet communications. Change the codes immediately, the prince ordered. We've tried, sir. Every time we change them, The humans crack the new codes within hours. Their computer technology is far more advanced than our intelligence reports indicated. Prince Zirion felt the weight of impending defeat crushing down on him. In just 5 days, these primitive humans had destroyed or captured more than half his fleet. But worse than the military losses was the growing realization that everything he had been taught about alien species was wrong. "Sir," Lieutenant Commander Zex said hesitantly, "I've been monitoring human communications. They're discussing medical treatment for our wounded and proper food supplies for our prisoners." "So?" "Your Highness, they're arguing about whether our diet includes enough vitamins. They're concerned about our health." Prince Zirion stared at him. "They're worried about keeping their prisoners healthy?" "Yes, sir. They seem genuinely distressed when they can't provide adequate care for our people." This was perhaps the most disturbing news yet. The Empire conquered through fear and brutality. How could they fight an enemy that showed compassion even to their captives? Dr. Kim's voice suddenly echoed through the alien flagship's communication system. "Prince Zirion, this is Dr. Sarah Kim of Earth's Xenobiology Department. We need to discuss the dietary requirements of your crew members. Some of them appear to be suffering from malnutrition, and we want to correct that." The bridge crew stared at their prince in shock. The enemy was calling to offer help with feeding prisoners. Prince Zirion slowly activated the communication system. "Dr. Kim, why do you care about the health of your captives?" "Well, because they're sentient beings deserving of basic dignity, Doctor," Kim replied simply. "We've prepared nutritional supplements based on analysis of your ship's food stores. We can transport them over if you'd like." The alien prince felt something break inside his mind. His father had taught him that all other species were either slaves or enemies to be destroyed. But these humans were offering to feed their prisoners better than the Zilonian fleet fed its own crew. "Dr. Kim," Prince Zirion said slowly, "may I ask you a question?" "Of course. Why haven't you destroyed my flagship? Your tactics could have eliminated us days ago." There was a pause before Dr. Kim answered. "Because we're not trying to commit genocide, Prince Zirion. We're trying to defend our home. There's a difference between protecting yourself and becoming a monster." Colonel Jung-Hae-Wan interrupted the conversation with an urgent tactical update. "Your Highness, our long-range sensors have detected a massive fleet approaching from Zilonian space. Energy signatures suggest over 500 warships." Prince Zirion's blood turned cold. "My father, he's coming with the full Imperial fleet." Commander Park's voice joined the conversation from Earth. "How long until they arrive?" 18 hours, the prince replied quietly. "Then we have 18 hours to finish this," Commander Park said with grim determination. "Dr. Kim, upload the virus now. It's time for the final phase." Dr. Kim's fingers flew across her control panels. "Viral upload commencing. Prince Zirion, I want you to understand something. When your father arrives, he'll find his entire fleet helpless within minutes of entering this system." "How is that possible?" the prince asked. "Because while you were fighting our ships, we were studying your technology. Every communication you've sent, every system you've used, every code you've transmitted. It's all been recorded and analyzed. We've created a computer virus that can spread through your entire fleet network and shut down every system simultaneously." Prince Zirion realized the horrible truth. The humans hadn't just been defending themselves. They had been using his fleet as a learning tool, preparing for the arrival of the main Zilonian force. "But why are you telling me this?" he asked. Commander Park answered. "Because we're giving you a choice, Prince Zirion. When your father arrives, you can stand with him and watch your entire civilization's fleet become helpless. Or you can help us prevent unnecessary bloodshed." "Help you?" The concept was staggering. "Help us create a better future," Dr. Kim said gently. "A future where species work together instead of conquering each other. You've seen how we treat prisoners, how we care for our enemies. Isn't that better than the Empire's way of ruling through fear?" Prince Zerion looked around his bridge at his demoralized officers, then thought about the human prisoners who were being fed better than his own crew. For the first time in his life, he began to question everything his father had taught him about strength and conquest. In 18 hours, he would have to choose between his father's way of war and humanity's offer of peace. The choice would determine the fate of both civilizations. King Vorthak's imperial fleet dropped out of hyperspace like a storm of metal and death. 500 warships, each larger than Prince Zerion's vessels, formed a massive wall of firepower that stretched across space. The king's flagship, Dominator, was a monster of black metal, 5 kilometers long, bristling with enough weapons to destroy entire planets. Zerion, King Vorthak's voice roared across all communication channels. Report your status immediately. Prince Zerion stood on his damaged bridge, looking out at his father's overwhelming fleet. For a moment, the old fear returned. This was the voice that had commanded absolute obedience for his entire life. Father, the prince replied slowly, the situation here is complicated. Complicated? The king's image appeared on the main screen. His pale blue face twisted with rage. You have failed to conquer a primitive planet in 5 days. I brought the full Imperial fleet to finish what you apparently cannot. Commander Park's voice cut into the transmission from Earth. King Vorthak, this is Commander Park Minjun of the Earth Global Defense Coalition. Welcome to our solar system. The king's glowing eyes widened in fury. How dare you interrupt a conversation between Zalonian royalty? Zerion, why haven't you silenced these insects? Prince Zerion looked at his father's image. Then, at the human ships, protecting the captured Zalonian prisoners. Then, at his own officers who had been treated with more kindness by their enemies than by their own empire. Because they're not insects, father, Prince Zerion said quietly. They're remarkable. What did you say? King Vorthak's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Dr. Sarah Kim's transmission joined the conversation. King Vorthak, your son has learned something important during his time here. Perhaps you should listen to him. I do not take advice from food sources, the king snarled. Zerion, you will stand down immediately. I will handle this conquest personally. Father, wait, Prince Zerion said urgently. You don't understand what you're facing here. These humans are not like any species we've encountered before. King Vorthak laughed coldly. They are primitives with chemical weapons. I have brought enough firepower to crack their planet in half. Watch and learn what real strength looks like. The king raised his hand to give the attack order. But Dr. Kim's voice stopped him. Your Majesty, before you attack, would you like to see what happened to your son's fleet? King Vorthak paused. What do you mean? Display current fleet status, Dr. Kim said to her computers. The main screen showed a tactical overview of Prince Zerion's original 50 ships. Only 12 were still functional. The rest were either destroyed, captured, or disabled. But more importantly, the display showed something else. Every ship in the Imperial fleet was now highlighted in red. What is the meaning of these markings? King Vorthak demanded. Commander Park answered calmly. Those markings show ships that have been infected with our computer virus, Your Majesty. Every vessel in your fleet has been carrying the virus since the moment you arrived. Impossible. Our computer systems are completely secure. Dr. Kim's laugh was gentle but devastating. Your Majesty, your computer systems have no security at all. You've never needed it because you've never fought anyone capable of digital warfare. While you were talking, our virus has been spreading through your entire fleet network. King Vorthak spun toward his computer officer. Report! Are our systems compromised? The officer's face had gone completely pale. Your Majesty, I'm detecting unauthorized programs in all ship systems. They appear to be rewriting our command protocols. Purge them immediately. I can't, sir. They've taken control of the purge functions. King Vorthak felt something he hadn't experienced in 1,000 years. Helplessness. What do you want? He demanded. Commander Park's answer was simple. We want you to leave our solar system and never come back. But first, we want to talk. I do not negotiate with food. Then you'll sit there helplessly while we decide what to do with your fleet, Doctor, Kim said matter-of-factly. Because right now, we control every system on every ship you brought. Weapons, engines, life support, everything. To demonstrate the point, the lights on King Vorthak's bridge flickered off and on again. Prince Zirion stepped forward. Father, they could have destroyed us all by now. Instead, they're offering to talk. Don't you find that interesting? It's weakness, King Vorthak roared. They lack the will to finish their enemies. No, Prince Zirion said quietly. It's something you never taught me about. It's called mercy. Captain Kim Taery's stealth ship materialized directly next to the Dominator's bridge, having somehow penetrated all their defenses without detection. Hello, King Vorthak, Captain Kim said over the communication system. I've been studying your empire's history. 200 worlds conquered. Billions of people enslaved or killed. But never once did you try diplomacy first. Why would I negotiate when I can simply take what I want? The king replied. Because, said Prince Zirion, speaking with new conviction. Taking what you want by force means you never discover what you could have gained by working together. Dr. Kim activated a holographic display that showed Zilonian prisoners being cared for in human medical facilities. Your wounded are receiving better medical care than they got in your own fleet, Dr. Kim explained. Your prisoners are fed better than your own crew. Your captured officers are being taught human literature and philosophy. Tell me, Your Majesty, what do you think those officers will say when they return home? King Vorthak stared at the images in growing horror. This was worse than military defeat. The humans were contaminating his people with alien concepts like compassion and mercy. Commander Park made his final offer. King Vorthak, you have a choice. You can try to fight us and watch your entire fleet become helpless, while your people learn that there's a better way to live than through conquest. Or you can accept that humanity offers something your empire has never encountered. Partnership instead of domination. Partnership? The word tasted strange in the king's mouth. I rule an empire. I bow to no one. And crew. We're not asking you to bow, Prince Zirion said, stepping forward with new confidence. We're asking you to stand as equals. The bridge fell silent as King Vorthak processed what his son had said. Around him, his officers waited for orders that he suddenly realized he could not give. His fleet was helpless, his weapons useless, his empire's military superiority proven to be an illusion. But worse than the military defeat was the sight of his own son speaking like these humans, talking about equality and partnership instead of conquest and domination. Zirion, the king said slowly, what have they done to you? They showed me what I could be, instead of what you made me. Prince Zirion replied, Father, for the first time in my life, I've seen what happens when species work together instead of destroying each other. It's beautiful. Dr. Kim's voice was gentle but firm. King Vorthak, your son has learned that true strength isn't the power to destroy your enemies. True strength is the wisdom to turn enemies into friends. The king looked around his bridge at officers who were no longer meeting his eyes, at screens showing his helpless fleet, at his son who had somehow become someone he no longer recognized. What exactly are you proposing? King Vorthak asked finally. Commander Park answered, a treaty. Your fleet goes home. Your empire stops conquering other worlds. In exchange, Earth shares our technology, our medicine, our culture. We work together to explore the galaxy as partners instead of conquering it as enemies. And if I refuse? Then you sit here until your people decide they want better leadership, Prince Zirion said firmly. Father, half your fleet already wants to hear more about human philosophy. The other half is amazed by human medical technology. How long do you think your empire will last when your own people see there's a better way to live? King Vorthok sat in his command chair, finally understanding that he had not just lost a battle. He had lost the foundation of his entire civilization's way of life. 6 months later, former Prince Zerion stood beside Commander Park on the bridge of the joint human-Zilonian exploration ship, Unity. They were preparing to visit a distant star system not to conquer it, but to explore it and perhaps make new friends. Behind them, former King Vorthok worked as a cultural advisor, helping to translate between human and Zilonian perspectives. He had discovered, much to his surprise, that learning was more satisfying than conquering. "Ready for our next adventure?" Commander Park asked. Zerion, who now went simply by his first name, smiled with genuine happiness. "Ready. And Park, thank you for showing us that the galaxy is big enough for everyone." Earth had won more than a war. It had won the peace.